Hello servers and welcome. Thank you for tuning in and it's great to have you here. A warm welcome to the most expensive unboxing of the second most expensive car care product I have ever purchased. There is only one wax, which is somewhere back here, that was even more expensive than the one that is coming now. That's for this wax already. That's completely nonsense, I have to say. It will also come up in the video at some point, but this video is about something I ordered a few days ago, which was extremely painful given the high purchase price. And I also believe that I wouldn't have bought it as a private individual. You know, I am not a professional detailer. As a professional, I might have considered it. However, I would have still tried to ask someone who already has it, to at least be able to test it beforehand, because that is important. That's an extremely large amount of money, and as I said, it really hurt. Placing this order and clicking to buy was truly painful because I bought it with my own money. It is not sponsored. It is not supported by anyone in any way. I spent the money, and we don't need to artificially prolong this discussion. It's something from Rupes. You can guess it's a polishing machine, and it's the 2001 HLR15. Again, I believe I wouldn't have bought it as a private individual, but this is a machine that is very well known in our scene, in the detailing scene. And you had also asked about it, and not just a little. That was one of the most frequent inquiries we have received lately. And then I told myself, well, I will now make a few personal purchases and wishes afterwards and get this thing here to test it for you and show it to you. Of course, I won't just send it back afterwards and make use of my 14-day return policy, because that would be improper. That would be really improper. I will not do that, and I will probably not sell it again immediately. 2001. I will keep it. I will continue to use it. Especially if you want to attend a course with me here in Switzerland, a polishing course. It will be part of it in the future. This also means that you can then look at it, test it, and use it with me, because at least those who attend the course will benefit from it. So, in this video, we will do a joint unboxing, just the unboxing. The test will follow, of course, after I have used it properly. Because, let's say, we can't quickly test a polishing machine within 2 or 3 days. It does take a bit of time. I can, of course, give you a first impression in this video. Now, the package is open. Let's see what is all inside. Because I can already see something now where I have to say, yes, it is an extremely high price being asked here, but you do get something for it. When I talk about the high price, this package, as you see it here, costs around $8. The cheapest place I have seen it was $825. The most expensive place was $1,000 at Washguru, which costs around $1,000. But then you also get our community discount of 10, let's say around $800 to $900. That's where this whole package lies, and that's a lot of money. It is, I almost said, the most expensive polishing machine on the market, but I simply don't know. There are definitely others as well. For example, Mirka recently released a very expensive cordless polishing machine or cordless sander. Festool also has some very high prices. There are already other expensive machines, but $900 to $1,000 for a polishing machine is quite steep. And I believe we need to discuss this in the test video as well. You can't just say that this is an expensive machine because you get quite a lot here. Because there are a total of 2, 4, 6, 8 polishing pads included. And indeed, this is a point that needs to be emphasized. If I buy a STPA polishing machine for 100, 150 or 200 euros, I also get STPA polishing pads included. Only the STPA polishing pads are... You know what? I am now old enough that I can address things directly. They are core junk. You can throw them away. They are absolutely useless. Rupes polishing pads have been, I would say, really, really good for about 1.5 to 2 years. With the old polishing pads, before Rupes changed anything here or purchased better foam, there were some that I already considered good, the yellow and the white ones. The blue cutting pad, the foam cutting pad, was a disaster, an absolute disaster. I believe you can ask several people about it. And now Rupes has added foam pads, specifically 2 of the yellow ones, which are the medium and finish pads. You are now getting the brand new intermediate pad twice, which is basically the middle one, but it leans more towards the cutting area. You will receive 2 coarse wool or hybrid wool pads, all for rotary polishing machines, and you will get 2 medium wool pads. The only thing I find unfortunate is that I personally prefer microfiber pads. I would have preferred to have the microfiber pads from Rupes, especially the new ones, because I had already looked at them. So I have looked at them in the sense that I have checked them out, but I haven't ordered them yet because they look very promising. So you get 8 polishing pads, which is already one thing. You get 2 polishes, and I have to say again, these are not junk polishes. They are really, really good. I already made a separate video about this, and I will link it for you up here. We polished a Fiat 500 with the 2 polishes and also with the Labor Cosmetica polishes. And the Rupes polishes are really, really good. They are currently among the best polishes available on the market. For one, and I have to say it will probably deserve a separate video in the future at a very attractive price as well. So you get 8 polishing pads, 2 polishes, and you get a microfiber pad. I tried to quickly calculate it. The total value of all of this, if we simply take the normal retail prices now, is around $100 to $120, and you get that here as well. Of course, it doesn't cost Rupes $100 to pack this in, it costs them less, that's absolutely clear. But you will already receive goods worth $120 included. We have to fairly deduct that from the sale price. And because this is an unboxing, you will also receive 2 batteries, along with the charging station. Now, one could argue whether the price of the batteries, if they are to be purchased separately, should actually be deducted here to find out the price of just the machine. Let's just do it. A single battery costs about $150, which means we can deduct $300 in battery costs as well. And then we roughly estimated $400, $450 here down to, we have $500 in goods value that we receive. This means that the machine itself is now priced at only $500. Of course, this also applies to Flex. Flex also sells you the machine with the batteries. You can also detach them there. But these $1,000 that you pay here, or euros, you do get something in return in terms of products. On one hand, I think it's cool. On the other hand, I don't think it's cool because personally, aside from the intermediate pads, I already had these pads and I also already have the polishes. And I have to say, then I just have it twice. Whether I will need it or not is another question. For someone who is just starting out with polishing, who finds this cool, they already have very well functioning pads and polish here that they can start using right away. Someone who already has all of this, and especially someone who is focused on other polishes and pads from other manufacturers, will ask themselves, what am I supposed to do with that? In the future, the machine will also be available for purchase separately. This is already known, as Rupes has communicated it. Currently, you can only buy this entire package, which is obviously not cool. In particular, I have to say the following. Yes, it is cool for someone who is just starting out, but someone who is just starting out is unlikely to buy a polishing machine for $1,000. That's the difficult part. But now I've already said way too much. We will definitely go over that again in the test video. This here is the machine itself. Let's take those out. Just set the box aside for a moment. What you don't get is that there is a manual included. What you also don't get, and this has to be mentioned, is that there is no bag or case included for the 2001 HLR15. With Flex, I believe you get the case. With the cheaper polishing machines from Chemical Works and Liquid Elements, which cost $200, you get a bag. Rupes, to be honest, with all due respect, it's cool that you include these things here. A bag would have been really cool, and especially a bag would fit this premium claim here. On the other hand, I have to say that when it comes to bags, each of us has personal preferences, especially regarding the design. Therefore, one can criticize it, but it is not necessary. So, now it's time for the unboxing. I'm unpacking this machine for the first time with you all. Cool. So, this is the part that has caused so much buzz. It hurts. The 1000 still hurt. I have to say very clearly, they still hurt. But now that I hold it in my hand and look at it, I must say it hurts a little bit less because this is just an absolute first impression. It hasn't been tested or anything like that. It's simply, I'm holding it in my hand, just like you would if you were to buy it. It is an extremely lightweight machine, so it's really impressively light. Anyone who knows polishing machines, especially the premium ones from Flex or Rupes, would say that this is another level of lightweight. It's absolutely incredible. So here, weight has been saved, without me having the impression that quality has been compromised, and now I have to be completely real. I am generally a Rupes fan, but for different reasons. But critically, one must absolutely remain objective. In terms of build quality, Rupes has never come close to Flex for me. Never. For example, the LHR15 Mark III had these white inserts here and also back there. These rubber inserts have come off over time, so not so cool. I have to say here that I believe Rupes has made 2 or 3 leaps in quality in recent years. Honestly, the thing looks absolutely stunning and feels absolutely high quality as well. This isn't real carbon here, it's just a carbon look, but it really looks really cool. Really nice and well made, and above all, I think that's cool now. That's a carbon look. And now one might think that this part and that part are 2 different ones. Yes, maybe they are cast parts in that sense, and the carbon structure wouldn't matter at all if it goes like this and then like that. But funny enough, like with Pagani, because they also place great value on that, an Italian super sports hypercar brand, the structure continues flush here. I will show you that in a close-up shortly. That's love for detail. So Rupes, honestly, you have made a gigantic leap forward. In terms of build quality, really, really cool. What immediately stands out to me compared to the earlier Rupes machines is that the backing plate is really thin. You can see this here, I believe. It is absolutely thin. The backing plates from Rupes in the past were real behemoths. Not quite as big as the ones from Flex, but they were still substantial. And if you swap the backing plate for something finer, you could definitely enhance the performance even further. But what is still the case is that it does not rotate completely freely. We still have a rubber protective strip here, and I assume it won't be long before people start doing the washer mod again. That means you will put a washer on here so that the plate can rotate freely, or some do, they will remove this rubber lip here so that the plate can rotate freely. You can do whatever you want as far as I'm concerned. Whether it really makes a significant difference will then be seen. The workmanship is just right, really beautiful. So now I will take out a battery and hope that they are already charged from the factory. Ah, look at that. There is a cover, a protective cap on it. I don't know if it's cast or 3D printed with the Rupes logo. It runs through. The positive first impression regarding the quality runs through. I assume, yes, well, it shines. It shines. I knew that the machine has this feature. I knew it, but it actually pleased me more than I thought it would. Wait, let me insert the battery again. It shines blue. There is actually an LED strip installed here. It has 0 impact on the polishing performance. I can say that already. 0 impact. And I believe it has a few more functions. I think it starts to blink when the battery is running low. I still say that this is a design feature, but a really cool design feature. For me, the biggest difference between Flex and Rupes is that Flex makes tools, a tool manufacturer. High quality, really, really good tools, but it is a tool manufacturer. Rupes is for me a detailing brand that is well established in the detailing world. And Rupes primarily makes tools, but with a touch of design, with a touch of passion. That is the difference for me. Whether it is worth paying more for Rupes, or if it is worth it to get only 1 year of warranty with Rupes, while Flex offers 3 years, everyone must and is allowed to decide this for themselves. But I find joy in things like this. This light here, I believe it lights up when you start it. When you start it, why? Why doesn't it start? Do I need more? No. Why? Wait, something is weird. The speed control, in my opinion, is exactly the same as it was before. But why can't it be pressed now? Do I have to? Oh, actually... Okay. Okay. Understood. You need to use the lock button because with every other polishing machine, that is the lock button. That means you pull the trigger, push it in, and then the machine runs continuously without you having to hold the trigger down. I can already tell you that this will be one of the biggest criticisms of the machine. Just like one of the biggest criticisms of Rupes' smaller battery machine, the HLR15, it had this gas throttle switch up here, similar to the grinders from Rupes, which meant that when you set the machine to a certain speed and then laid it down, it would run on its own. You had to manually set it to 0 here, and then you could put it down. This was one of the points of criticism regarding the machine. I had to say there that it was purely a matter of getting used to it. That was the only and the first machine that had this type of gas switch. Once you get used to it, it won't be an issue anymore. I believe it will be the same here. However, some people will criticize that it bothers them that you have to press in here. You see, I press in now, and then I can start it. And if I don't do that, it won't work. Okay, I will try to find out from Rupes what the reason for this is. I assume it's a safety measure because this is a battery-operated machine. I also just noticed that you can display the battery level here. Okay, so this is already something special, I must say, but now let's let the machine run. And now we can see that when I let it run, this lights up. It keeps getting better. The light here is even variable. Wait a moment. Now I'll let it run lightly. Now more. And now the light is increasing as well. Yes, I am starting to like the machine, and the pain of the high price is slowly fading. He's still here, so that's not the case. And what also is, I'm already giving away quite a bit from the test video, but so be it. You want to see something from this unboxing video, otherwise it would already be over. Rupes has been doing this for a while now. The throttle switch is variable, which means I can easily press it in. You see, then the machine starts to run lightly, and this is independent of what I have set here. I can turn it on to level 6, and if I just lightly touch it here, you see it runs only lightly. This might correspond to level 1 at full power. Now I press more. Now it runs more, even more. And now it runs at full capacity. That's cool because normally when you polish, you lower the setting to 1 or 2, then you spread the polish, and then you increase it to the setting you want to use for polishing. You can save yourself that with this machine. You set the speed you ultimately want from the beginning, press the switch, hold it down slightly, and can thus distribute the polish. I personally think it's cool, but it's not a must-have. You can also adjust it quickly here. It's a bit of a mixed bag. But I've just noticed something. When I let it run at full speed on level 6, it's quite loud here. The battery holder is vibrating somehow. But now I have a very simple and straightforward assumption. Namely because the plate is now thinner. The backing plates from Rupes used to be thicker, and we didn't have this problem back then. They didn't vibrate as much and weren't as loud when there was no pad on. I assume that the weight of the pad is needed for the machine to run smoothly. I'm just assuming that now. That was the trick. Okay, so you have to put the pads on. But now, to be completely honest, hold on a moment. The nice thing is we have the direct comparison. Wait, I'll be right back. A few seconds later, specifically LHR15 Mark III. Corded, so level 6. Absolutely typical sound for the Rupes. Yes, I have another backing plate from Kamikaze on here. Yes, I have it on, and you can also see that it spins more freely, even though the rubber protective lip is still on. So, that doesn't change anything. The Rupes has always had such a high-pitched screech, one could say. Especially at the highest levels. Recently, Regiful Labo Cosmetica revealed a trick to me that I am currently trying out. I'm trying this out to see if it really works and if the machine actually becomes quieter. If that's the case, I'll let you know because I would think that's cool. Now I'm going to turn it down to the first level. Quieter logically, but still quite screechy. With this one, it's the opposite. It screeches briefly when starting up and then not anymore. So you can tell me whatever you want, it is definitely quieter than the old machine. Definitely. Wait, let me try again. That's a huge difference. I can say that right now. I hope this continues throughout all experiences with the machine. It is incredibly quiet, and despite the battery on the back, it is still lightweight. I would also say, but I have to find that out, it feels lighter than the Flex, but now I'm almost really giving too much away. No, I won't say that yet. It has to do with balance, because anyone who has a battery-powered polisher will be familiar with the following, namely the position of the polishing machine while polishing. Each of you will be familiar with this posture. I won't say more at this point. Yes, it is also very low in vibrations. So, it was supposed to be just an unboxing video, so I will slowly come to an end now. The first impression is really good. The pain of the high price is still there. You can't and you shouldn't dismiss that. 2001. But the first impression is absolutely great. I think it's a really awesome machine. If it also performs well in terms of polishing, because that is the key factor, it can be the most amazing machine, but if it doesn't polish, then none of that matters. If it works well in terms of polishing performance, then I am very, very curious. This brief screech when starting up, by the way, is typical for Yusen machines that come with the new brushless technology. I recently showed you in the video how to change the brushes on the HLR15 Mark III, and there are many other polishing machines that are the same. I will link the video for you up here. This is a brush in English, brushless, without these brushes. And that noise you hear is no longer a light one. It's difficult to describe. It's a kind of mechanical, slightly scratchy sound. This is a typical brushed motor in terms of noise. This one is a typical brushless motor, because I would say that in the next few years, this will very likely become the new standard. They are a bit more complex in construction and a bit more expensive. However, this will eventually scale down on its own and automatically. Then it will become cheaper. But that's the direction of development. And I believe it also helps the machines and the manufacturers to become quieter and, of course, I would say supposedly maintenance-free. That means you no longer have to change the brushes. In the end, it is still a tool. Something inside will still wear out. That's why we will see cool. So the pain remains. It is a damn expensive machine. Well, it is what it is. But the first impression is very, very positive. What particularly fascinates me right now is the perceived leap in quality with Rupes. Let me show you again what I meant earlier. This rubber material here starts to come off, and these white rubber parts at the front turn black over time. They can also come loose. Individual trim pieces can also become detached. This feels like a huge leap in quality. This is what fascinates me the most right now at the beginning. In addition to the low weight, in addition to the noise level, in addition to this LED strip. Very, very, very cool. Yes, indeed. Let's see how the Rupes will perform. I hope you found it exciting to unbox this with me. Please appreciate that we also get such expensive items for you. Give a thumbs up if the video was helpful, informative, exciting, and interesting for you. Let us know in the comments below if you already have the machine, if you have used it, and what your impressions are. I would be very interested personally. Tune in for the next video and see you soon. Cheers.